Well, hello my darlings, and welcome back to our channel. I am so glad you are here. Today on our channel we are going to be creating a wedding centerpiece that will be sure to fit any budget while leaving you space to embellish at your heart's content. Stay tuned. For this project, you will need two 9-inch cylindrical glass vases, one of these dry styrofoam bricks. You will need some wooden blocks, as well as some diamond wrap. You will need some crystal garlands and some glass pendants if you so desire. You will also need some flowers, any color, any type of your choosing. And of course, you'll need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So the first thing that we're going to do is build up our foundation with our blocks. And what we're going to be using is 4 blocks per layer times 3 layers. So all you see I'm doing here is I am placing hot glue in between the blocks that I am fusing together. I would highly recommend that for this portion of the project that instead of using hot glue you use wood glue instead, but for the purpose of the tutorial today I am going in with some hot glue. Also, when you're fusing these blocks together, make sure that you are fusing them as evenly as possible so that what is going to become your bottom and what is going to become the top of your tower will be flat with no impediments. Once you have created one layer or your 3 individual layers, what you need to do, of course, now is fuse them all together. And so going ahead in the essence of time and fusing my first 2 together, I'm simply showing you here how I am going in with just 4 bullets, 1 atop each of those 4 blocks on my 2-block unit, and I am fusing it together, applying some pressure to make sure to squeeze that glue in between those layers flat. And once I have done so, I will set it aside to dry for a few moments. So now that our block foundation has been fused together, what we're going to do now is actually glitter the 4 sides of this piece. So as you can see, I'm going in with my blotter and I am simply applying an even layer of that glue onto the first side of my tower. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to take my glitter, I'm going to shake it on, allow it to sit, really touching that glue for a few seconds, and then I'm going to shake off any excess glue that there is. I'm going to repeat this process going around all 4 sides of my tower. However, I am not going to be placing any glue or any glitter on the top or the bottom of this tower because this is where we are actually going to fuse or adhere the tower to the 2 vases, one on top and one on the bottom. So I'm just going to continue this process going all the way around, and when I'll be back, I'll tell you what's next. So while we wait for our glitter to dry, we are now going to dress our vase with our diamond wrap. And of course, the amount of diamond wrap that you are going to need is going to depend on the width of diamond wrap you have in your possession. And so this is why I'm not necessarily giving you a count of how many rows you're going to need. Just use what you have and cut it into size. Now all I'm going to do here, having cut mine already, is place some permanent glue on this vase. Now the reason why I'm using permanent glue as opposed to hot glue is because you know that hot glue does not dry clear. Because I want this diamond wrap to be permanently adhered to my vase. I'm not going to use hot glue for that purpose either. So as you see, I'm going in with my permanent glue all the way around, and just so when I start my stream of that diamond wrap, I am placing just a bullet of that hot glue, which is going to give that diamond wrap a right now adhesion. So while I'm pulling that diamond wrap around my vase, it is not going to tug and it is not going to move. Now, in order to close this, I am going to follow the same process, making sure it's sitting flat in that permanent glue. And if necessary, I'm going to take my hot glue gun, apply just a very light stream, and that is going to work as my closure for this layer of the diamond wrap. Now I'm going to repeat this process with a second layer to cover the top half of my vase, and then when I'm finished, I'll come back to tell you what's next. So here we have our two vases that we just dressed in our diamond wrap, and here is our glittered tower that has been dried. And what we're going to do right now is build up our piece by placing our wooden tower in between those two vases. To do this, we're going to go in with our combination of our permanent glue, and then on top of that we're going to place a foundation of hot glue. And what that is going to do, that hot glue is going to give us the right now adhesion that we need, while that permanent glue is going to cure over time. So as you can see, I found my placement, which is in the center of the bottom of that vase, and I'm applying some pressure to make sure that both of those glues engage with that glass. Now I'm going to repeat the process on top, doing the very same thing, placing a foundation of my permanent glue, and then on top of that placing a foundation of my hot glue. And once I have done that, I am going to take my second vase. I'm trying to find the seam to make sure that they're both lined up, and I'm going to set it atop of our glittered tower. Once I have done that, I'm going to apply some pressure, hold it in place for a few moments, and then set it to dry. So here we have our two vases that have been fused to our wooden tower, and what we're going to do now is glitter the tops and the bottom of those vases. Now of course, if you like the way it looks with that glitter piece just sitting in the middle of that glass, please feel free to leave it like this, and this part will be entirely optional for you. But for those of you who would like to add a little extra pizzazz and bling to your piece, and to make sure that the glitter is seamless from the tower to the glass, you can go ahead, just like I'm doing here, apply your glue medium and then apply your glitter, shaking off any of the excess. So I am going to continue this process both on the bottom here as I'm showing you, and then once that glitter has been shaking off, I'm going to turn it over on the other side, lay that foundation of glue medium, and I'm going to repeat the same process on top. When I am finished, I'm going to of course set it to dry, and then once that glitter has dried, I'm going to take that glue medium and I'm going to blotch it in an effort to seal those glitter pieces in so they're not flying off on your guests as they sit at your event. So here we have our piece that has been totally dried and fused together, and now what I'm going to show you is how we are going to add our foam piece to the top to of course create our floral arrangement. Now if you like, you can always go in with a round foam ball in an effort to have a rounded floral arrangement, but in the essence of keeping this a very inexpensive project, I am going to use one of Dollar Tree's dry foam, which will put the cost of this piece minus flowers at roughly $4. So once you have decided what type of foam you're going to use, what I did was I simply pressed down, made an etching where the mouth of that vase touched or pressed into the foam, and once I created my etching, I simply placed a stream of glue in that footprint and sat my foam atop it. Now what I'm doing here, because many people have asked how do I attach my garlands with the greening pins, and all I'm showing you here is I'm taking some garlands out of that bag. I'm trying to separate this greening pin that is stuck by a glue frond that will not detach itself, as you can see. But all I'm going to do is take that greening pin, stick it through the O-ring, and then I'm going to take that greening pin and simply push it up into the foam. It's as simple as that, my darlings. And so of course, if you would like your piece to have pendants also on the ends of your garlands, just simply the same thing, and it's just a matter of where you would like to have these garlands placed on your piece. All right, so now that we have placed our garlands, it is time for the fun part, which is making our floral arrangement. And to do this, I'm simply going to go in with 2 large hydrangea heads, one on either side, and then I'm going to continue to fill in my floral arrangement with roses of different sizes and different shapes. I am going to continue to place my flowers, and when I'm finished making my floral arrangement, what I will do is clean this up with any glue fronds that there are, stage our piece, and then I will be back to show you what our finished project looks like. Well, my darlings, here you have it, our inexpensive wedding centerpiece. Isn't this gorgeous? I think I would have to say that my favorite part of this project would have to be the dupe we created with those wooden blocks. I mean, if you think about it, we are working here with glass, diamond wrap, and in the middle there's a shiny piece that no one would ever suspect started out as pure wooden blocks. I think once again, my darlings, I will have to say that we have nailed this project, if not on anything else but creativity. And so, like I said, really and truly, this piece is not going to break your bank or cost you an arm and a leg, because you are literally, between the 2 vases, the wooden blocks, and the sponge, you are literally looking at $4. Of course, if you would like to embellish this with your choice of flowers, your garlands, your crystal pendants, even your diamond wrap, that is going to increase the cost a little bit more, but at this price point, it still is not going to break your back. Not your back, break your bank. I'm so sorry. But my darlings, if you have found any value in this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. To my Danny's darlings, as usual and as always, no video is ever complete before I have to tell you guys thank you for all of your love, your comments, your feedback, your questions, and most of all, and most importantly, your encouragement. Please know that none of it is wasted, and I appreciate each and every one of you. To those of you who may not yet be Danny's darlings, but who may have stumbled across our channel today, kindly be sure to consider joining our ever-growing community of DIYers as we learn from and craft with each other on a weekly basis. If you do decide to subscribe to our channel today, also please be sure to press the notification bell so that you will be made aware of any time any of our videos have been published. Well, before I sign off of this video today, I am going to leave you guys with a motto to our channel, which is simply this: why buy when you can DIY? And so, my darlings, my loves, until next time, I say to you, please, please, please take care of yourselves for me. Know that I love you all. Bye now.